awesome in what they do in that role. As we go first up, round one, it's Hell's Heaven Nightmare versus LFT.
We get to start with domination now. Let's get the fun stuff kicked off first and foremost. Now, we're already through the picks or the bans and protects here. It is Nightmare on that red side. They banned away the Groot, protected the Star-Lord, then banned away the Luna. It's the Venom ban by LFT1, and it is the Raccoon protect into the Warlock ban.
Yeah, and I think the Venom ban is going to be towards Luca, but Luca's been showing a lot more flexibility. He played a lot of Venom, Strange, and now he's been leaning a lot more into the Thing, which he's been playing fantastically. There it is right there on cue. We know Mace does have what it takes to play Magneto at a high level. Melina, though, I'm telling you, you've seen Vision, Energy. We've seen some big Hellas today. One of the best. And lastly, Kendrick, let me tell you, he says say Drake because he's awesome when it comes to snowballing on this character.
Yeah, hey, it's one of my favorite things that I've watched already so far in these runs that we've seen for these teams, and especially because you have a little bit more eyes on to that Nightmare squad. But nonetheless, I expect a little bit of something from LFT1. I think their track record has been pretty good, even though maybe not as clean as some of the other teams we've seen today. It still has been a dominant lower bracket run, and both these teams on the verge of elimination need to make something happen here. I just love that we get a taste of both sides of things with these first comps. We have that very standardized Vanguard setup, but we're looking at a little bit of variation in that Wolverine at least started.
Yeah, who has a bigger impact? Is it Wolverine on his favorite map, or is it going to be Bucky Barnes and doing what he does best? And,
track record says Bucky.
You're right. We've seen some good Wolverine play, though, on this map, This is not his best part of the map, though. There's really nowhere to take the target, when you kidnap them. Our blue, though, and far, it's going to come down to how they stack up against Luca and Mace, a formidable duo in the Vanguard department. He's a demon going on limit, and I love my face. Look at that. That username's incredible.
It truly is. Why not have a little bit of fun with it as you make your run here? And now up against Nightmare, we actually see a little bit of offset from the strategist on that side of things here. But now around this middle point, this is what can be so dicey. Millennia is already gone.
Yeah, Heart Blue going in with the aggression right up the rip, and you love to see it with that Magneto bubble. It's hard to take out the Thing and everything he brings to the table with a jetpack boost up to the sky and throwing the Wolverine with the slingshot. That was awesome to see. Can he get any value out of it? Doesn't look like it so far, and wow, just a huge trade. Pizza Demon taking down Face.
That was a nice little snipe from Pizza Demon, and they're really playing this reserve. They're waiting to move up until LFT1 have lost a little bit of ground now, and now the KOs start coming through as well. They've lost Wolverine yet again. Pizza Demon holding on here. Phaser also there with a double KO, and go ahead and add some more. Luca doesn't make it the difference, and now they are just pushing it inside of LFT1.
And not just KOs, but important ones at that. I mean, they took out JP right before he could ult, and usually the first team to cap has all the momentum with the ultimates, but they were able to flip the script now, and it's about even here on what can trade what. Look for a ton of value from the Kraken impact with all the Loki clones. JP has to be careful where he decides to place.
Already about a quarter of the way there for Nightmare. Again, this team that is expected to make the run in terms of the expectations coming into the MRC, and now against this up and coming of the LFT1, we have a bit of a move. They have the invisible boundary available there. Do they get the pick? They actually take down Millennia again. That's multiple times right before the big fight. The Millennia is down. Invisible boundaries. The Venn diagram is out there. Mace is trying to tank up. Goes ahead with the Meteor of M. It comes down and gets the dunk. Luca gets the one on the Guk, and now it's just right-clicking on the side of the fight here, Cozy.
Screen is melting. Every ult is coming out. The Meteor M's and boundaries, you name it, they've got it. Baszler, though, getting the nice follow-up there on my face. And overall, through the madness, they still came out on top there. And a lot of that was surprising with Millennia going down so early. And honestly, it's all come at the hands of the Loki.
And that's the craziest part here, is the difference that Loki is. It's been one of my favorite additions to the competitive meta here, just with the variability that it plays into. And here we go, speaking about it, we're going to come in here with the dual invisible woman. Invisible barrier going to be popped. Look at the Goddess of Death up there just being fully targeted. And now the reset's coming through potentially for Kendrick.
Yeah, Millennia plays a great game, but so far it's been rough out there. Millennia popping the ult right when the invisible boundary goes up. You're not going to get any use out of there, right? Hard Blue getting some nice follow-up, and those Vanguards, like I just said, needed to step up. They're stepping up as they get 2 eliminations back-to-back, and Guk following course there on Kindred.
They're just getting double knockups right now. It's a thing party, and it's favoring LFT1. Now, in this instance, it does look like Nightmare are going to reset off the point. They got to 99. They got to the overtime, but now they got pushed off. Trying to retake, it's going to be important. Ultimates are coming up for them.
That's why this is so tough, because you have to not only survive, but you can't let them get any more of the point. And so at this point, you have to play perfect, land ults perfect. They have a lot of setup here with Borderline having their ultimate and the meteor to follow. They just have to really stagger these ultimates and not use too much at once.
Here comes the entrance from the side point. They do have a little bit of setup here with the invisible barriers. Going to be popped in the end. A lot of AoE damage coming down, although the Meteor Bam is available on both sides. They see if they can use it here with the combo. Mace charging it up, tries to dunk and gets the one onto Guk. Now Harblu is gone as well. Millennia making a comeback from those deaths earlier on.
Yeah, absolutely. It took a while to get that flank going, but well worth it as he gets the 3-piece, make it 4, and Mace with a great dunk there on the Meteor M. Millennia was kind of like on the other side of the map at one point and comes to play, but the portal coming in, and then one more contest. No, look at the push.
Look push right back.
Push. Come through the portal. Nope. Keep your magic. Goodbye. Point 1 goes to Nightmare.
That's a massive momentum win for Nightmare. I mean, they pushed it all the way. They got pushed off, but it was really clinical to see them reset focus and come in on that side point. It makes it so difficult because you can split which side you come into, and LFT1 were just struggling to find answers.
Phaser, that was awesome. Love to see what they had, and I agree 100%. Millennia is a phenomenal Hela, and so it's great to see them kind of get back together on their roots. Luca, too. I mean, we saw Luca play so many different Vanguards, but his thing play has been impressive this entire time. Looking forward, though, here, opening up this next fight. Look at this. Is going to be rough. JP is going to look to get his ult as fast as possible, because if he doesn't, Kendrick is going to be able to just snowball this thing. But how does a Loki get ult? Placing down the clones, getting things going, and that's just going to set up Kendrick even more.
It's so difficult. It's like stuck between a rock and a hard place here, but I'm looking for Kendrick to play aggressive with this start. He's got the advantage here, and can you imagine the difference that this point take makes if you push them all off on that initial take?
Yeah, no, honestly, a lot of people say it always comes down to this first take. I mean, where it ends up, how it happens. But we just saw, actually, LT got the point first, but because it flipped so fast and they got the ultimate eliminations, you know, on point, they were able to take it back. Pace trying to get a little bit of a pick here. Guess who notices them? Millennia right off the bat.
Trying to get the snipe angle there as well. We already have, though, LFT1 on the point. Trying to take it. Harblu is right there in front as well. They're using these choke points to have some range advantage going through. But now is the point where you get to dance around this pillar. Mace getting about half health, has to back away to the rest of the team. The ruins come down, but we're starting to get those ultis.
It happened at the exact same time. I just said JP's trying to get his ult fast enough. He got it at 100% as the Armadeus came down, was able to counterplay, and then they were able to set up the rest from there. I mean, it comes down to that. It comes down to the counter, and they were able to get it out just in time. If I was Kendrick, maybe would have popped it a bit sooner, but either way, they're going to lose the first bit of this point to LFT.
About to have the Meteor M for Mace, though, and maybe the Goddess of Death making a difference. Pizza Demon also having some good choices to go. They have the double invisible boundary if they want to go for it. It's reservation from Nightmare, though. They're buying time. They want to move around the corner here and try to get the engage with Luca. Going to start it off, going straight to the back line, looking for something, looking to get his health bar up and into them. As now the return, they're right-clicking from Harblu to take down that one. Invisible barriers there. We got the Venn diagrams of doom coming up again. Harblu in a fisticuff fight with Luca here, but I don't think he can do it. He has to go back to the rest of his team.
But Millennia getting that pick on Borderline, which is important. I mean, looking at that huge clobber in time from Hard Blue, perfect on the Hela and Baser there. That's what set them up. And then Luca was trying to farm his ult fast enough to set up with Mace and that Meteor, but unable to do so. Now, nice Millennia getting some good poke damage, getting the elimination staggers, but they're trying to set up this combo and have struggled thus far. 12% up, though, only 55 to give. They got plenty left in the tank.
They do indeed. They'll have many retakes available to them. We're going to get the map switch here a little bit as well, as we see the little loop of Kendrick. The fadeaway headshot. That's a huge elimination from Kendrick, and it just takes their extra damage off the table for LFT1.
That's a wrap on the halftime show. Kendrick just doing a fantastic job there. And listen, that's what we highlighted going in. We knew the duelist play would be at top tier, but JP now copying into Borderland, well, copying again, waiting to use that ultimate. Most likely going to use it here in just a second to initiate and face, though, making it way easier. There's the invisible boundary from JP as they look to initiate.
All right, we're checking on clobbering times. Luca is going to unleash his meteor in, coming down as well from Maze, trying to find the angle around. He gets him. Go ahead and curve that meteor, Mr. Magneto, as Kendrick now looks on the side pick here. He's trying to take him down. He pops him off the edge, and there will be no crow to save you today, Goddess of Death.
Fantastic Baser shields there, just keeping the at flow, trying to protect him from the hellline. And great job. We said we were looking for it. Luca loves to set up into that Mace ultimate there. It's just one of the strongest 1-2 punches from the Vanguards there. And there it is, the response. And the perfect bubble Mace, keeping his team well and alive.
That's real tough. The clobbering time going a little bit wide there. You have to look at what's available for LFT1. Kendrick is waiting around the corner. The claw, the elimination from Kendrick. He just picks him out of the entire crowd. And now Q not being there is a massive difference. The fight is starting to fall the way of LFT1. At least if they can try to recenter themselves, they'll still have a chance to fight over this overtime.
The patience in the pick from Kendrick was incredible. Love to see it. My face is going up into Goddess of Death right now, though, trying to sustain a little bit of pressure. Nightmare, though, were able to once again flip the script. JP, though, getting a couple eliminations and down Hella with a double kill. And at this point, it's going to look like they can take this point back. And this time, a little bit harder to set up. But if we look closely, Nightmare has plenty of ultimates. All they have to do is land the wombo combo of Luca and Mace.
Oh, we're setting it up so perfectly for a last-second retake by Nightmare. I will give it to LFT1, though. They have been pushing for this point, and they just want to stave themselves off of this 2-0 start. We have Harbla in that fight. Now Millennia is down. That's a massive range damage dealer gone. See if now the switch to this Star-Lord can make a difference. Kendrick is looking for angles of his own, but it looks like Nightmare might be repressed a bit.
Yeah, they're going to have to push in fast. They have the ultimates to do so. They got to get to the point. You're going to have the thing be able to run in and do what he does best here. But again, it's going to be very close. Someone's got to go. 94, it's going to be him. He's the one up with the potential clobbering time. Can they get the setup? They've got the combo, and it does not stick. There goes the meteor aim, unable to get the connection. And now at this point, it comes down to the abilities, what they have in their pure skill, and showing it off here. Getting one elimination, make it potentially two. The snowball can happen, or we get an LFT with the comeback.
They might be able to. The Goddess of Death is taken away. The invisible boundaries have gone down. So now it is just fisticuffs. It is just chaos. Millennia is finding an angle. It got face. It got face down. That's a massive pick now as well. And look at this angle that Millennia can keep. Nightmare. They might turn this around at the last second as well. Both teams at 99. Both teams in overtime. But the bodies are on the point for Nightmare.
And no ultimates to rescue anybody. It's going to all come down to the picks, the eliminations. But wait, Gunk is coming with the legendary, but it's silenced by Melina.
There is a difference between the God of Death and the Guardians of the Galaxy, and he's showing why here. Another pick comes down, and Nightmare, they're trying to turn it all around. They gave LFT1 a chance, but there is no more. Round one taken by Nightmare.
Wow, I mean, extremely close matchups on both sides of both points on the frozen airfield and there. I mean, at first I thought with that push off from Invisible Woman, Mace going and fall into his death, I thought that was going to be a clean sweep, but then we get the pick on Mace, and that really allowed the team to get going. Pizza Demon with the Loki MVP, and honestly, listen, I agree, very clutch play there, time after time. Taking a look at the stats, let's see what tells the story.
I'm just so interested at who really was that stat, because it felt like Nightmare had a really solid grasp of what they needed to accomplish. And you see, in all actuality, it was a pretty split focus across the board and a team-wide effort there from Nightmare.
Yeah, and listen, you can kind of see it. The damage was there, but like looking at Guk here, like the eliminations were not. They were able to get a lot of consistent pressure, but it came down to who was able to get those clutch picks picks at the end, right? And we saw that Nightmare just so happened each and every time to get the job done. And to me, it felt like Nightmare had these combo setups and plans going in. And you know, maybe looking to the next map, I want to see a bit more of that out of LFT. They're looking for a T1 orc. They're ready. This is their calling card. They've got to show up.
Their tag is orc please, so maybe they'll be able to find something if they can show out a little bit of a different look there and try to fight back. Because that's one thing that I think Nightmare has been really good at, even with this change of the roster and the kind of new adaptation, is they will always just give you a fight in these games. And maybe they lose a little bit of presence, but then their refocus back into how to get into the game has been very nice to see. And they're in the lower bracket for a reason, but we can see why some of these teams are lethal down here.
Yeah, they've been there before, right? It's like, okay, you got 99%, no big deal. We're going to reset. And he had to go in. Luca barely got in at the nick of time. Some great plays there. The Bucky, the Kendrick pull, it was clutch. Let's go relive them, the highlights right now, and check it out. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. We have our last match of the night, and we are starting 1-0 with Nightmare, the team facing elimination that loses. And listen, this has been close. You know, it is 1-0, but I've got to say, kind of flawless play from everybody. And really, the main difference is you got someone on here, it's Guck, but Gale being a fantastic player that I know they are. And to see them kind of reset, reload, I think this is going to be a good one coming up.
Yeah, try to figure out what works for them, as well as we are going to be on this convergence and trying to figure out now what the difference is between that domination map and figuring out how this consistent comp can come out for them. Because that was something from Nightmare that I really liked, that I already highlighted a bunch, was the fact that they kind of understood where they were in the round itself and like trying to figure out when they can push, when they can take. And that kind of consistency is very important if you're going to make that lower bracket run, but that both these two teams are trying to make.
Yeah, for sure. And listen, JP might be a great Loki, but Kendrick, I'm telling you, I've watched a lot of Bucky. He is near the top. Terra, even honestly, I had him above Terra at one point. Terra's been, you know, a beast of his own. But Kendrick, a ton of respect. Obviously, you know, Bucky, great hero, but you have a great player with that. It's formidable. And then, yeah, like we just saw, Luca is just kind of turning this leaf with the thing here, if you will. I expect a lot of play there. Gonna be interested to see the pick and bans as you've you know, highlighted. We're going into Shin Shibuya, and it's always a good matchup on this map.
Yeah, I'm very curious if it's going to just be a rinse and repeat of the Vanguard setup, especially when we were looking at the bans from last time. We did end up seeing that Venom and the group bans to trying to whittle down that Vanguard matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. Here as we head in, pick and bans, ready to go. Now, I don't think Guck is going to be playing the Black Widows. Don't get... Don't.
Did we get the Punisher, though?
Yeah, right. I would love to see his Punisher. But we've got the Venom Band coming out right away from LFT. Again, that's from Luca and what they could do. Although, I mean, if I were them, I'd be blocking the thing at this point, right? But yeah, there goes Group. Gone from Nightmare.
All right, we see the Protect from Nightmare is going to be the Star-Lord. So maybe keeping that in the back pocket to see what kind of galactic legend they can make of themselves today. The other Protect, this time by LFT1, will be Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, as we got the Protect there, we're seeing that more and more, especially Shin Shibuya. This is such a great rocket map as well, because the walkback can be punishing here on defense, and having that instant bit. We got to see the ban on the res comp here. Okay.
Okay.
Ooh,
it's going to be the Loki. Hey, I mean... rightfully so after that last matchup.
Pizza Demon, yeah, MVP Pizza Demon, right? They're like, okay, we don't need that again.
Don't want to deal with that. There just seems to be a malfunction in our runes. They're not working. It is the Luna that is finally in that final ban by Nightmare. We start seeing the lock-ins here. It's looking very similar to what we had before.
Yeah, got the res comp though, and they are definitely going to play it here as Guck is not moving from Adam. We're ready to go. Will he have that cool skin? That's going to be the question. We saw that a little bit from that season 1 pass. Love the Adam Warlock. But yeah, looking at the team here from Nightmare, it all starts with Millennia and how they play. And you saw in that first point, they struggled ever so slightly whenever Millennia was having a tough time. And then ever since then, it has come back full force.
Yeah, and that's important in these teams. I mean, it's a long tournament, right? These guys have played a lot of games. I'm just going to be outright with it. I mean, we started with over 500 teams in those open qualifiers. Obviously got down to 128 before we started this run. But then after tonight, we're going to be down to 8 teams running for that first MRC Season 1 championship. And I think it's been a stark contrast to seeing some of these well-known organizations, some of these well-known teams into teams that have just made the run of their own volition.
Yeah, listen, Season 0, that belongs to 100 Thieves. Then Mutants now. There could be a new king of rivals. We're heading into our first bit here as we've got the offense for LFT. And let's see Nightmare and what they set up on. We've got the portal coming, as we've talked about before. Just a fun portal map to go up the high ground here, as always. And I like that rooftop placement, but they're going to go with the usual spot behind the staircase.
Get a little bit more sneaky as they're going to come through. Here comes the resurgence. As LFT1 are going to look for an angle over here. They actually also have base over on the side, trying to poke down the back line right now of the rest of Nightmare. They have really good spread across this point for LFT1.
Yeah, I like the positioning that they have set up here. And look at their trading spots, right? Nightmare, you'd think, is on offense at this point. But yeah, Guck, this is going to come down to how he plays as Adam. I know he's comfortable on the roll. We'll see if he can rise up. Hard Blue, though, that's Strange. We know when there's not a Strange on the other team, everything's set up for your Agamotto. All you have to do is deliver.
That's all you got to do. Get a hook, line, and sinker there. Pull out the pendant a little bit now as LFT1 still fighting over on this house side and keeping a little bit of distance from the rest of Nightmare. Nobody's going down just yet. We're getting real close to ultimates, Cozy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And if we look towards this next fight, I mean, this is going to be big to see who gets their first. Mace getting very close to the Meteor, but not too far behind. Borderline looking to get theirs before the chaos happens with a huge kickoff on Mace right before the ultimate charge and a clutch elimination, but brought back with the BRP.
Yeah, definitely going to be thankful that old Rocket Raccoon's on his team. CFC is going to come out as well to provide a little bit more damage boost here, but we are getting to the Meteor of M. It's going to be utilized now by Mace, trying to start things off for Nightmare as Kendrick's going to be the 1-2 combo punch here. He's already gotten the one, but can't get the second reset in the end. We fought over to the other side of this building, and Millennia is just sitting people down. Might just find another one there, but can't do it. On to Guck.
The double slam right there was insane for the Meteor M and the Kraken. But again, the rest comp, they have a lot of lives. Cat's here, and they're able to get most of them down. They have to win one more fight. The passives are burned, so everything's ready to go. And Luca is going to have to help with it as we got the legendary coming. Millennia going up with the guns to death, able to get crucial picks here, but Far absorbing plenty. Far going down, though, to Luca with the pressure, and now they're going to dig in the back line, and they're pushing them out of their own spawn.
They are indeed. They're keeping pressure on them. He needs to watch both sides for Kendrick because they're trying to get this perma set up on the defense. All of LFT1 are circling around the backside of the pit. Face needs to get something going here. He's not even close to his ultimate, but you need consistent damage coming out from LFT1.
Yeah, can they land this Agamotto? That's going to be a huge setup. There it is. They got something, but no follow-up to get it done.
He didn't get through the wall, the window, blocking his interest. Millennia is getting chased down now, but no, he gets the shot. Star-Lord has no chance. He will end up coming back here as now you have to think about the angle that LFT1 were trying to attempt. It has now buckled into chaos, Cozy.
Yeah, I mean, we said it before, the snap of the mouth, the crack, and the pop there on the Star-Lord was beautiful. We've got the hit with Luca, the clobber in time into the mace, but they were unable to stick it up. Can he still get value? 2 supports, and they got both of them with a slam dunk. Channeling his interloper on James, and they get a huge pick.
Supposed to rise yet again, but the board again. It's going to reset things. This is the power of this comp. This is why LFT1 drafted this and are taking it. They're right back on the point. They're right back into the metal here, and you have Baser, who does have his invisible boundary, but you have to utilize it the last second. We end up getting it thrown down by LFT1 as well by Q, but look at the other side. Pizza Demon is still being a demon. Borderline is down now. now you're losing some of the support, some of the strategists from LFT1. And now Millennia looking to get the setup with the Goddess of Death here, looking for the final pickoff. But look at FaZe. He's trying to take him down. He's been seen in the sky, and the fence is still gonna go.
Beautiful Goddess of Death there from Millennia. I was just waiting and watching for that one to pop here. Beautiful as the fight continues on, and the ults are still building. And now they're going to be able to answer the call here. If Kendrick's able to get that Kraken impact, it will be that. But the overtime clock coming closer and closer. They're getting pushed off the point. They have to get back on it. Luca pushing his way there, getting the pick on both Vanguards, getting it done. But oh my gosh, that's it. They stepped off.
I can't believe it. I can't. After all of that intense action, Cozy, after all of that chaos, they step off of it. They kept pressure on the backside of that fight for so long.
They call it C9. That was the Nightmare 9. I mean, that's just tough because they were winning so much of that. I'm sorry, in reverse there. They did such a good job, though, going against that res comp over and over, and the pressure there. But yeah, I mean, that's insane.
Absolutely insane. And now we have to see LFT1 try to put a stop. I mean, this could be a massively short round for LFT1 if they cannot put a stop, right? And even if they do, it will be a short round, and trying to deny Nightmare from going up to match point in this series.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, we've said now there's been a Shroud 9, a C9, LT 9, I guess is what I meant to say there. But yeah, listen, I think that they showcase that they have plenty of fight in them. And man, tough call from Nightmare being able to answer that res comp because there's just so many eliminations, and you get the triple and it doesn't matter. But Millennia getting that, it kind of helps get everything else going for the team.
And it's also just about keeping your head in the game, right? It can be easy to kind of let off the gas once you feel like you're getting some kills, but these guys know that you cannot let off the gas against this kind of composition. Keeping that fighting going, keeping that stress going. And now we actually see the defense coming through from LFT1. Can they put up a fight?
Look at this comp too. You've got an Adam and Mantis for the passive, but no Starlords with the JP on the cloak there. This is it's fun. It's interesting. Definitely different. They're gonna try something new here as they get the immediate pick down on my face. That's gonna be a tough open.
That is a little bit tough to start off, and all they have to do is capture about 1.5 of this point. Luca right in the front of things, right in the thick of things, and he might be a rock, but he's rock solid, and so is Kendrick. Find it, picked in the right hook to the face. That's already multiple members down from LFT1. The hope was there, the wishing and the praying, but they are gone. Nonetheless, a massive round from Nightmare. They'll move to match point.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I have to say the fights between these two teams have been phenomenal. I get it. Right now we're at 2-0. But between the Dom map and yes, again, this is where sometimes it doesn't tell the whole story, right? Because that was just one step up, and the point was going to be theirs, but they go down 2-0, facing elimination. They're looking for a T1 orc. If they want one, they've got to come through here.
They do. And massive shouts to the space taken by Luca, man. You talked about his thing coming into this, that adaptation from this pick on this guy, and he has absolutely paid dividends there. You see a lot of those KO finishers, but it's more so about how he separates that backline to frontline fight.
Yeah, and listen, I think that LFT, it's cool that they've been trying some different combos and what they could do. I want to know what they're super comfortable at, though, and we want to see that come together. We've seen them play a couple things, maybe the res comp because it was there, and it's always cool to see the team that doesn't pick the res comp when it's there because they have the belief in the product that they have out there, and we saw it there with Nightmare. Fantastic job and finish, and just consistent pressure, double limbs with the mag. I mean, they got ult after ult, and it was awesome to see.
Somebody over there on Nightmare socials needs to get some posterized graphics coming out for the amount of dunks that we're seeing from this team. But all day long, that has been the case. And it's really nice to see an organization like Nightmare with that kind of retooling and readaptation into the MRC Season 1. And to kind of find that benefit, even if they are in this lower bracket run, we are seeing that they are in that next level, that next echelon, at least comparatively to some of these teams.
Yeah, it's been a fun day. This could be the swan song on the day, but LFT can get the job done. But before we get to it, let's go ahead, check out the highlights. What's going on, guys? It's glad to have you back here. I'm glad to have you back. It's do or die time here, as it's the potential last game of this day that has been full of chaos, full of great games. What do you expect to see potentially here with LFT, the backs against the wall?
Well, I'm going to say there's a little bit of difference between what I want and what is going to happen. What I want is for my first day of Marvel Rivals casting to have more than just 3 zeros. What we're going to get looks a little bit more one-sided than that. And Nightmare have their eyes set on this lower bracket run. It wasn't only with that one comp, right? They were able to switch things up and find that very stressful series of situations around that last point and come out to that 1-0.
And we're headed to Wakanda for our round 3 here. And this is always a good time heading into this map. I think it's fun. It's super tough, to get the point when needed. And we've got the Venom Band going up right away here with the Groot to follow. And so we're seeing similar patterns.
Yeah, similar to the last time around. It's going to be the Star-Lord saved as well. Do we see the maybe triple res comp coming through yet again? I don't know,
boy.
Man.
They've got to ban it here. They've got to call the answer. To. This is it. Get the Atom here, move on. It's they're setting them up, and they stick with their guns. They stick with the Loki.
What are we gonna do, Cozy? What are we gonna do? The Luna got saved, so I will look for Q to have a massive impact on that one. If you're gonna save something, I need to see that impact. And right now, the final ban will be the Namor from Nightmare.
Yeah, so this is gonna be an interesting setup here. I expect to see honestly pretty similar team comps. Are they gonna go with the res comp again? I think the res comp is such a
repeat.
It's a dominant team, but if you don't play it a lot, right, it could be a little bit awkward. So they're going to set up. We're not going to know exactly what they're locking into, but we're seeing, people are saying, okay, they're picking the meta. They're picking the meta. It's for a reason. There's so much on the line here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, your life in the tournament is on the line, and also a little bit of pride for Nightmare. I mean, all these other teams have been 3-0ing. You're right up there in the organizational talk between them. I wanted to kind of keep that pride going. Meanwhile, we have the 6 bodies in a dream here on the side of LFT1. Obviously their namesake, looking for an organization, but now they need to look for a win.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Sometimes it comes down to the draw and going against Nightmare. They're a great team. Sure. I mean, Nightmare is a great team who I would say is right there close to FlyQuest and I can't believe they are even facing elimination at this point, right? They're that good. But they've really tied things together, and really we're going to see it all combined. Now, I expect there to be the Strange. We're seeing some fun picks here for LFT. I don't think this is what they're going to go with, unless, you know what, they're going to let loose, have fun, and go with the Hawkeye. Which, I don't hate Hawkeye.
I want to see his Punisher. We were talking about it in the break. We just want to see something a little bit different, maybe a little bit comfort, but it will be the Hawkeye to start it off.
Hawkeye, listen, I love Clint. I think he's a fantastic hero
by
for
his
this
first
map.
name, huh?
Yeah, we're on a first name basis here. I've done a lot of Marvel in my day, but no, I think this is a great map for him. But I don't love the approach on this side they're taking with Hawkeye.
Now this is where we're looking for Borderline and Q to kind of shore up the defenses of LFT1. We're looking at the different entrances they have to this point. We already see LFT1 getting somebody on the point. Melania, though, has already evened up the odds. 5-6 now. Well, he's on the back line too, and he found Q. Melania's just making the difference.
Now, Millennium's in a fantastic hell. We've seen great play. I think we opened up with that on the match, just how good they are. And the fact they get the pick on the Hella, he falls backwards and just finds himself a free Luna. It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet. A fantastic job there. And look at the ult setup, too, going into this next fight. Yeah. This is going to be real tough.
It is really tough for LFT1 to kind of approach this one. They're very far away from their own. They're going to try to portal here to buy themselves a little more time. You have under 3 minutes to get this going. Big things I'm looking at, though, are Melania with that Goddess of Death and Luca with the clobbering time.
Yeah, absolutely. As they grow closer, and this is going to go right away to the fight to the high ground, and Kendrick having to be brought back with that BRB device, and they're getting nice separation here. JP trying to be kept alive. That has that snowflake, and that usually does great here. Face now trying to get that all-important pick to set the team up for success. Borderline doing the same result, and Mace, though, not letting there be any push, any budge, but hold it. He's going to be pushed back here, and they're about to get this first bid.
I mean, we're getting real close. We're getting all these ultimates coming up. Gonna start it off. We're getting Kendrick close to another dunk, another poster added to the Nightmare list here too. And they pull Guk off the side. Mace and the rest rest of the team are just keeping the long con going here, looking for the phase as they try to push him off. I don't think they got him at the end, but it doesn't matter. A couple more right hooks will get another KO, and they do end up pushing Borderline off the edge. That'll be point one defended well.
Trying to use that part of the map to stay alive, and it ends up going against the Mace. I love that. Maybe Far thought he was going to go for these strategists in the back, and then Mace just turns quickly and slams who knows how much just pumped up energy right into the face of Magneto, shutting down.
Now you have to think about the retake. Again, this is where Nightmare have been so strong in their decision-making post-fight to figure out how they win the next fight. Now, as well, we see LFT1 adapting their strategy. They're coming to a different point.
Yeah, and listen, this is going to be who uses the combos better and who can stagger better with these ultimates. Everybody has everything online that you'll need, that you'll want. Now, Mace not having his is somewhat important because he can shut down Borderline or JP, but they're going to be... Who's going to be the first to crack here, right? That's always the call. Who's going to be the first one to throw up the support ultimate? But they've got the Winter Soldier, and that's where... I'm sorry, Hawkeye is not going to be able to completely respond to what he has to offer. But look at Millennia getting that pick early.
He already got face. There they go. They're just pulling trigger now as well. Invisible Boundary still available for Borderline. You got to think, though, everything's being held on to. Kraken Impact is going to be there. Agamotto into the pit here, too. They have 3 of them caught, but not enough damage. The shielding and the Invisible Boundary comes in. Harbla trying to get the angle over there onto Millennia. I don't think they can do it, though. You got the Sia device in there, but now Kendrick looking for the picks onto the Vanguards. Here comes the Kraken Impact. That arm is made of adamantium, and he is using it strong. He is finding the picks, and Kendrick has been a constant fear for LFT1.
Yeah, there's a lot that was tough to face there outside of the Thorn going right into the face of Luna. I mean, first of all, you've got a lot working against Doctor Strange on this season. The introduction of Invisible Woman and the simple push that she can do against his Agamotto, we just saw how impactful that was. Shutting down any sort of that, and then Face going down early, but then they were forced, they had to take the fight, right? So they were forced to use all the ultimates, and at that point, there just was nothing left in the tank. Great push there from Baser. As always, now a couple pushes that we've seen from him, putting the Strange back in the portal, and then now the Eye of Agamotto prevention.
The reservation again from Nightmare has been the strongest point so far in this best of 5. They are very close to wrapping this one up and sending LFT1 home, continuing that lower bracket run, and they're gonna just run it back here, Cozy.
Yeah, listen, this is a map that is hard to take. So I know you might be watching this and saying, okay, it's over, we can move on. But I've got to say, you can't say go next. Yeah, the amount of times that this is just held down to 1 bit here, I mean, would obviously end up in a draw. I think that happened before, actually, in this map that I was casting. And so anything can happen here. They've got to bring it all. Everything they've got. We've got now triple res ready to go. Face going off Hela over to Star-Lord. And then we've got now Gale back on that Adam Warlock. They're going to have to... They're going to have to see what they got. And I've got to say, the defense for the triple res comp on this map is nice because you have a lot of room to hide as that Adam.
You can find the angles to just get that reset on the fight. Been so impactful, but it's just a tried and true setup from Nightmare. This is what has won them so many games before, and they're just going to run it right back. This time, going around the right side here, Cozy.
Yeah, we've seen them take the other path commonly, and we have Lucas spamming some voice lines. Love to see it. Yeah, so Mace now making that hole in the wall to get the team through. They know they're coming through there, and they're just going to bring the fight right to them. They're like, all right, if you want to, toughest teams win here. And Mace is going right for the pressure on Strange, and immediately look at Luca just bring the thing right into it.
Oh my goodness, they're trying to get the angle. Far is trying to defend this backline right now, but they're already on the point, Cozy. They have to make sure they are touching to deny this one. It's already a little bit gone. Millennia going down now. That's a big pick from LFT1. They actually are trying to get this defense well done.
Yeah, and listen, this is it. This is for elimination. Do you want to be in the MRC or be eliminated and forgotten? They want to make sure they win this first fight, and even more so build up those ultimates that are going to be so clutch, so important. Nightmare doesn't have to do much to get the win. It doesn't help when Face is going down to the Thorn.
Face's switch is not going to be enough. Phaser gets that one as well. This might be the final push. Bodies are starting to drop here. They're not going to have anybody for LFT1. He's in the sky. He's buying time, but another KO comes through from Kendrick. Probably the most consistent member of this fight. And Nightmare will eliminate LFT1 from the MRC.
And you never want to leave with change in your pocket, and you had the board again ready to go. And the best part is you got the 10 seconds to be able to allow more rest is happening, and it just wasn't fired enough. Everybody off the point pushed into the room. That's it. That's the end of LFT. Again, though, fun fights, good fights. Nightmare getting out alive, and they deserve every bit of it.
They do indeed. I love to see the wedding couple there celebrating the nuptials, but also celebrating Nightmare's continued run in the lower bracket. This was, by every means, a dominant series from them.
Yeah, Nightmare, probably today. We watched a lot of 3-0s, but I think this was one of the most kind of one-sided, one team locked in and really comfortable.